Hey guys, I have a bullet journal plan with me slash setup for you guys. The first half of the video is me showing you guys how I set up my February monthly spread, and the second half is all of the spreads that I have already done. So right now I'm just using my tombow brush marker to write in the month, and I am using a muji 0.5mm gel pen to draw in 4x4 squares to make a calendar. The notebook that I'm using is from Leuchtturm, which I absolutely love. I have like 5 to 6 different notebooks from this line, and it's pretty addicting. There is some ghosting, as you can tell. I started my next week, and with the video you can sort of see the ghosting and the lettering peeking through, which doesn't bother me that much, but it is just something to note. I used this tombow brush marker in purple to draw a bar across the top, and then I used my muji gel pen to write in all of the days of the week. Then back to the tombow brush pen, I drew in a bunch of blobs on the top left corner, and then I'm going to use a muji gel pen to write in all of the dates. For my monthly spreads, I like to just put in big events, birthdays, important projects and tests and stuff like that. It just provides a really good visual of the month. Using my Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen, I wrote in my assignments for that month, and I'm just creating sort of a 3D box. So I'm using the muji gel pen to draw an outline, and then I'm going to take the brush pen again to make it look a little more 3D. Underneath, I'm going to make another section for new release ideas, and then underneath that, I made a section for monthly to-dos. I like having all of my lists in one place so I can get a really good overview of what's going to happen that month. I'm then working on my sleep tracker. You guys already know this, but I do not sleep enough hours, so I like to just sort of track my progress. I wrote that in and then used a tombow brush pen to add a pop of color. Then with my gel pen, I wrote in hours on the y-axis, and my increment is basically just 3 to 8 hours per night. And then on the x-axis, I wrote in 1 to 28 for each day of the month, and I just section that off with a line, and it's very satisfying once you fill it all out. Up top, I wrote in a little quote, and then I drew in an emoji just for fun. After that, I wrote in all of the events and assignments I knew would 100% be due. It's not a lot, but I just like to fill in some extra things. Next up, I am going to work on my grades tracker for semester 2. I am just a little bit obsessed with my grades and keeping track of them. It's kind of a problem, but anyways, I just hand wrote in grades tracker, and then I went from 60% to 104% on the y-axis. And each square is for an assignment, not like per day, so that's sort of how it works, and I will color code it with all of my classes later on. So now I'm going to show you guys all of my spreads. I don't use these ribbon bookmarks, they just sort of get in the way. There are a few index pages which I adapted to do a pen swatch page. Here I have my highlighters, some gel pens, and these are tombows. In my future log, I put down some YouTube video ideas. Obviously, it's not filled out yet, but I will in the future. Then I have a grades tracker, which you guys saw me do for semester 2. This one is for semester 1, and I had chemistry, pre-calculus, and physics. So this isn't numbered by date, it's just like per assignment or per quiz or per test. As you can tell, I had a random 40% on a chemistry quiz, but everything else is pretty consistent in the 90s. Then I have my January monthly page, and I love this spread so much. I used a pink tombow Let me see if I can find it. It is this one, 772, and I think it's called Blush, and I just used that across the top and for the dates. So January was pretty hectic because I had a ton of finals. I did add some stickers here and there, and then at the bottom I put down my New Year's resolutions. So I wanted to read at least 12 books for fun. I wanted to slow down a bit. I want to drink at least 5 cups of water a day. I know the recommended is 8, but knowing me, realistically, I won't be able to do that. I want to become more fluent in Spanish and sleep more. Then on the side, I have new release ideas and monthly to-dos, which I did not check off any of them because I don't usually refer to this. It's sort of just like a visual of what I have to do for that month. Here I have another grades tracker which I do not use, so please disregard that. Then I have this sleep tracker, which I sort of failed from the 22nd and onwards because I was just so busy with finals. But I failed this one as well because the increments make no sense. That's the first problem. The second problem is that I actually have been sleeping like 3 to 4 hours every night, and the lowest is 5 to 6, so it doesn't accurately reflect how much I've been sleeping. Then here we have a spending tracker, which I covered up the amount. I have a where column, a dates column, amount, and need/want, which I really love this column because it really shows, you know, how much I'm spending for the shop and my necessities versus what my sort of impulse buys are, and I just love having that there. So this is my first spread, starting at the first. I just did more of a horizontal layout and I love how it turned out. I used some brush letterings and some doodles. And then we have this week, which I am not too proud of. I was trying to do like a combined horizontal/vertical layout and it just turned out really cramped, which I did not like. But over here, I did a little checklist for tackling exams. Basically, I had 3 different subjects that I really had to study for: chemistry, physics, and pre-calculus. And I listed down all of the chapters. So for example, chemistry, I had reaction kinetics, solubility, equilibrium, acid base, and electrochemistry. So I knew like which chapters that I have to tackle, and I did that for physics and calculus as well. For the third week, I did another horizontal layout, kind of like the first week, very similar. And as you can tell, it is a bit blank. And basically what I wanted to do for this bullet journal is to not put in any fluff. Before in my bullet journal, what I would do is if there's any empty space, I would not make up plans, but like say I would put in make the bed, even though I do that every single day. I don't really need to put that in my planner, but I would put it in my planner just to make it look a little more full. And for this bullet journal, I told myself that I would not put in any of the extra fluff, and that is why there are some blank spaces, but just know that everything that I put in is things that I really have to put in. So this is my favorite spread. I posted this on my Instagram, but this is my 2018 library, and these are all of the books that I for sure want to read. Here I have 2 blank ones. But basically, I sketched out the cover of the books. Really love how each of them turned out. Some of them I used a tombow marker to shade it in, just to add some depth and interest. I put some empty stars, which I can fill it in after I finish reading them, and also a space to put in the pages. So then I have my graduation transition spread, which is a mandatory program if I want to graduate, and we have an exit interview, which I don't know the date yet, so I just left a space. We have a total of 5 assignments, so I just labeled each of the assignments, all of the things I had to do, and a little check mark. I actually finished everything here, and I just have to focus on this section. This is my finals week, so I did this sort of different vertical spread. I put in all of the dates and then a little box where I put in the final or the test that I had, or I guess no school, and the new releases, basically the highlight of the day. So for example, on this day I had an electrochemistry unit test and a physics quiz. Underneath I put a to-do and then a huge list, some lettering and some doodles, but mostly just a list. I wanted to go to the library on Monday and Tuesday, so I just sort of drew a line across. I finished all my exams by Wednesday, so
this half of the week is very empty. For example, on Thursday, that was the first day after all of my finals were done, so I kind of just said screw it, I'm not gonna do anything, I'm just gonna chill out. That's why there's a huge empty space. Then we have the grades tracker you guys just saw, the February monthly spread, which is very empty. I can't wait to see it filled out though. And then lastly, we have this spread, which is this current week. We're on Wednesday right now. I still have to finish my to-do list, but I have Monday and Tuesday done. So far, I'm doing a pretty good job keeping up with it, at least I think so. Let me know if you guys want to see more of a weekly plan with me in the future, and thank you guys so much for watching.